go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It's a Monday. It feels like a Monday, but I'm so glad to see each of you. Welcome to Mercy Health Stepping Out program. My name is Michelle, and we are going to do a Hatha yoga flow. So we'll begin just by finding a comfortable seat and listening to the sound of our breath. And with every single exhale, it's about bringing our awareness here to this mat, inside, just to yourself, trying to get rid of all of the competing thoughts and worries. All you want to think about is that sound of your breath in this moment right now. As you sit here, pay attention to your body. Are you holding tension anywhere in your hips, in your shoulders, your jaw? Become aware of your body and just try to find a state of relaxation or honoring the parts that are a little sore today, so that you can go to your practice gently today. Let's press both palms together at our heart center, and we'll let our chin sink to our chest. And we'll set the intention for your practice today. Think about what you want to get out of your time on the mat. Why did you come here? Raising our head, let our hands come down to our sides. We're going to combine the breath with the arms, nice and slow and controlled. So we'll inhale, press those palms together at the top, and as you exhale, actively press them together through your heart center all the way down. And we'll open back up, inhale up, exhale, press down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Hands on both sides. Inhale that right hand up and over to our side stretch. Nice and slow and gentle, bending that left elbow with each exhale, just stretching longer and relaxing. Feel those shoulders staying stacked and both sits bones staying anchored to the earth. We're going to let the shoulders face the earth as we come onto our fingertips here, walking to the center. And we'll just relax the elbows into the earth and breathe. Walk the hands back, coming to a straight back. We'll switch which foot is in front. Hands come to the sides once again. Left hand will reach out and over. Really extend that stretch. Relaxing the elbow towards the earth, the right elbow towards the earth. Don't let that left hip pull up though. Square the shoulders to the earth as we come to the fingertips. Walk those hands out as far away from your body as you can. Coming to center. And with the exhale, melt those elbows down and relax. Forward fold. Walk the hands back to come to our seated position. Let the hands come behind us, palms facing away. Rest our weight on those palms, so walk them out as far as feels comfortable. And we're gonna open up the chest and look up to the ceiling. Extend first one leg and then the other. Engage that core as you roll up onto the fingertips, coming all the way up to our straight back into a staff pose. Flex our toes up. And as you exhale, relax the toes and fold forward deeply. With each exhale, try to just let go a little bit more. Inhale, roll back up to a seated position. Pull the right leg in with us. Let it cross over that left. We're gonna cross that left elbow all the way over if you can. If not, just do our normal hug if that feels good. But otherwise, we're gonna try to do the hook across. The right hand will stay behind us, and it just deepens that spinal twist a little bit more. And as we release, open up that knee. And gently fold forward. As we sit up this time, we're gonna take the knee and that shin with us and rock our baby. If you can get the right knee into the crook of your right elbow, supporting the leg. And if you can get your ankle, your foot into the crook of your left elbow, give it a little bit of rock. If you can't, just hold on to the leg. Remember, we always say, make sure you keep the integrity of your back and your body. That's much more important than how much of a contortionist we can be. Go ahead and relax, let that foot and that leg straighten out. And as you exhale, forward fold once again. Imagine the head drawing away rather than just trying to bring the nose to the knees so we don't just crunch. We want to try to lengthen as far as we can. And as we come back up to the seated position, we'll pull that left leg in Again, let it cross over, and either you're gonna hug it in with that right arm with the left hand behind, or if you wanna see if you can hook that right elbow to the outside of that left knee and get a little bit of a deeper stretch in the spine. Remember to be gentle though. Release, let that knee open up and fold forward. As we sit back up, we're gonna pull that leg with us so we can rock the baby on this side. Support the leg however you need to. Let's go ahead and swing both legs underneath us. We'll come to our tabletop position. All four. Make sure we have our knees in line with our hips. Our knees should be hip distance apart. Wrists are directly in line with our shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Shoulders are engaged or active. We're not sinking into them. And we keep that core, we keep that tummy pulled in as often as you can think about it. We'll start with our cat-cow breathing, so feel free to go ahead and get right into it if you're familiar. As we inhale, we drop the belly, opening up the chest and look forward, coming into cow. And then as you exhale, you tuck everything in. Tailbone, chin, arch that back up, coming into cat. Your natural inhale, go back into cow. And you just keep going back and forth between the two postures, following your natural breath. Go ahead and finish one more set, and we'll meet in a neutral spine. Nice flat back. We'll go into the next series by lifting that right knee out. We call this a fire hydrant pose, probably for obvious reasons. And we're gonna start doing a hip rotation. So we just do big circles. Imagine you're making a circle, I guess, with your knee there. Watch the integrity of your shoulders. I was sinking into it, that's why I say that. Once you do 5, let's go in the opposite direction. Now let's extend that right leg straight out to the side, coming to the knife blade of the inside of that right foot. And we're gonna sink our hips back to our heel. And then push back up to tabletop. That's 1. Sink. Back up 2. 3. 4. and 5. We'll bring that leg back in and do that series on the opposite leg. So start with your fire hydrant and draw your circles with your knee. On the opposite direction, once you've done your 5 rotations. And then extend the left foot out, coming to the knife blade of the inside of the left foot. And we'll shift our weight back to the heel, and back up, and 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw that left leg back in. Let the toes touch. Go ahead and walk the knees out as wide as our mat. Hips sink back to the heels. Stretch those hands out together as far as you can. But as you do, bring them so that they're touching. Make a prayer hand and then sink your forehead. With prayer hands, we're going to lift both hands straight up. And if we can bring them back. Release the hands down. Go ahead and open the arms up so they're natural again. And we're going to shift our weight onto our forearms. So if you want to look forward here, we're going to shift our weight onto our forearms. You need to walk them in a little bit. Make sure that they're directly below our shoulders. And we're going to walk those feet out and come into a low plank. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and rest down to your mat. We're going to slide our hands so that they come a little bit behind, so not directly underneath our shoulders, a little bit closer to our rib cage. And we're going to press into our hands as we inhale and lift up to a cobra. Shoulders are pressing down, elbows are pressing in. And go ahead and exhale back down. And inhale again. Exhale back down to the mat. Inhale up one last time. Exhale down. Sliding the hands forward, we'll come up into a Sphinx pose. We try to line up the elbow to the shoulder. Keep our back as elongated as possible so we keep that neck nice and long as we look forward. Go ahead and give it a look over our right shoulder. And a look over our left. Go ahead and look straight ahead. We're going to draw that right leg up next to us. And the left hand is going to go under the right. And we're going to roll onto that left shoulder all the way onto our back until both shoulders are square onto our mat. And straighten the arms out. We'll roll back onto our bellies, coming up to our Sphinx. Draw the left knee up beside us. That right hand will thread under the left, coming onto our right shoulder, rolling onto our back so that both shoulders are square onto the earth. And we'll roll back onto our bellies, finding that Sphinx pose one more time. Go ahead and lower down to the mat. Slide those hands so they're back by our rib cage once again. We're gonna push up to our tabletop, tuck those toes under, and continue to push those hips up to the ceiling in a downward facing dog. Press one heel into your mat at a time, walking your dog out, stretching those muscles before we check our alignment. So as you start to come to stillness, keep our gaze in between our feet so that our ears are in line with our arms. You're going to give your pelvis a tilt forward. And press those heels towards your mat. And little steps, we're going to walk those feet up to the hands, coming into a forward fold. Knees are soft. Resting our chest on our thighs. Exhale as we hang out. And slowly start rolling up one vertebrae at a time, coming into our mountain pose. Tailbones tucked under. All four corners of our feet have equal weight. Thighs are engaged. Core is pulled in. Shoulders are pressed down and back. Chin is tucked under just a little bit. And then pull that head back. Both hands up. Take a big step back to a downward facing dog. Shift your weight to your left foot, raise that right foot in a three-legged dog. Keep your hips square to your mat. Right foot is flexed. Draw that knee into your chest. Before you swing that foot through, coming to a low lunge. Your knee should be in alignment to your ankle. You should be light on your fingers so you can look forward. We're going to drop that back knee, untuck the toes as we lift up into a crescent lunge. Press the hands down in prayer pose. Let the left elbow come to the outside of the right knee. Let both hands come down to the mat. Lift that back knee to our low lunge. And we'll bring that right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Shift the weight to the right foot, left foot raises, three-legged dog. Draw the knee into the chest before swinging that foot through, coming to a low lunge. Light on our fingers so we can look forward. Drop our back knee, untucking those toes so we can lift into our crescent lunge. As you come to crescent, remember we are trying to keep this hip flexor muscle open, but we're pulling into, or pulling back I should say, into the opposite hip. So we do try to keep the hips square but open. We worked on that the other week. Draw those hands down into prayer pose. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And both hands down to the mat. Lift that back knee. We're going to do a vinyasa flow here if you want, or just go to a downward facing dog. That left foot will come back to meet the right, coming to a plank. Or you could do a half plank here. If you're in a full plank, shift your weight forward before lowering to your mat. Inhale back up to your cobra. Exhale down to the mat. Press through your plank. Lift those hips up. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. You're going to make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, only come halfway up, finding that flat back. Those hands can be on our shins, our thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. We'll bring our hands back to our heart center, finding that mountain pose once again. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to your downward facing dog. Shift your weight to your left foot, right foot raises, three-legged dog. We're going to bend that right knee so that that heel comes as close to your bottom as possible. And then we're gonna stack the hips for a moment here. Take a peek under your right arm. And we'll square those hips off once again. Raise that leg to your three-legged dog before pulling that knee into your chest. Swing it all the way through. And we're gonna come to a warrior one this time. So rotate that back foot. And bring our hands all the way up. Hips are still square to the front. Right knee is bent, straight over that foot. Don't let it go past the ankle. And we're going to open up to a warrior two. Square our weight into the center of our stance here. Both arms are level, and we're looking over the front hand. As we straighten the front leg, the right hand's going to come up. As we come to a resting warrior. Now, as we lower, we're going to come to a high lunge and bring our hands, bring our hands to our prayer pose, and then do our twist. Cartwheel both hands down to a low lunge. Right foot comes back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Shift our weight to our right foot, left foot raises three-legged dog. Bend that left knee so the right heel comes as close to your bottom as you can. Stack the hips. Take a peek under that left arm. Square the hips back up, raise that left foot before drawing the knee into the chest, and swing that foot through. Bring that back foot to that 45-degree angle before lifting to warrior one. Open up to warrior two. We'll straighten our front leg and lift that left arm up to the sky, coming into peaceful warrior. Come back down to the front. We'll come to our high lunge. Prayer pose with the hands before taking that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Cartwheel our hands down. We're going to do the vinyasa flow, so either go to a down dog and wait, or you can join us. Plank. Exhale down to your mat. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale down to your mat. Press through your plank. Lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway up to your flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And we'll bring our hands to our heart center, finding mountain pose. Inhale, both hands up. We're going to sit back into a chair. So as we exhale, sit back into your chair. Bring our hands to our heart center. And we'll go into our twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. If you want to open those arms up, you can. Come back to your prayer pose through center, and we'll stand up. Exhale into chair. Draw the hands into prayer. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Open the arms up if you want. Bring the hands together. Return to heart center. And stand. And inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to a downward facing dog. And lower both knees. Returning to our tabletop position. Breathe. With our knees together this time, we're going to let our hips sink back to our heels. As we lower our forehead to the mat, draw both arms down alongside us. Whereas our first child's pose was active, this is considered a resting child's pose. Give it a little rock side to side. Give your head a massage. And we're going to roll up to a hero pose. Interlace the fingers and stretch out those wrists. Press them out in front of us. As we release, we can go ahead and swing those legs around and scooch up on your mat a little bit there before we roll down to the mat. And we'll pull in the left foot first, but go ahead and we're raising our legs up. Let's get those feet up in the air for a moment. So whichever foot first, but both feet up in the air. We can rotate the ankles. Make sure you go in both directions. Point, flex. Point, flex, point, flex. This time as we point, as we flex, we're going to start drawing those knees in towards our armpits, and we're going to reach up with our hands grabbing the outside of each foot and come into a happy baby as we rock side to side, massaging that lower back. And now you can tuck those knees together. You want to give a gentle hug before you lower them down to your mat. We're going to keep the heels as close to your sits bones as you can make them. Our hands are going to be down alongside our body. And we're going to start by tilting the pelvis before lifting the hips up off of your mat. Feel each vertebrae lift one at a time, coming into a supported bridge. And now we can lower one vertebrae at a time. We're going to come into the Shavasana portion of our practice, so if you want to grab any props to make this part more comfortable, feel free. Now would be the time to do that. And once you're ready, you can go ahead and straighten out your legs one at a time. During Shavasana, the most important part of your practice, we start by doing a body scan, during which you try to relax all of the major muscles in your body. And once we've come to that complete relaxation, we just find that stillness and quietness for just a few moments. So let's go ahead and we'll start by relaxing the toes. Feel that relaxation move through the feet. Invite it to come into your calves and release the tension in the thighs. Breathe into the hips, releasing the emotions, the stress, the tension that we hold and carry in our hips all the time. Relax the hands, allowing the fingers to curl up naturally. And feel that relaxation gently move up your arms. As it enters your shoulders, take a few breaths until you can release any tension that you're holding there. Breathe into the neck. With every exhale, feel yourself just growing heavier and heavier into the earth. Release the jaw, maybe allowing your mouth even to open up a little bit. And any tension left in the face. Push all of the stress, all of the tension, all of the worry out of the crown of your head and find that stillness.